When I put together all of the footage of me working on this build, it says that I spent 7 hours and 11 minutes on this. You know, at first, when I saw lilsimsie's shell, the little bump out, I was immediately inspired to make a garage out of it. As you can see, I started doing this first because I was like, this shell is going to be a residential lot with a huge garage. I'm going to use the restoration workshop kit that just came out. It's going to be super easy, super smooth. 2 seconds into my residential lot idea, I gave up and I was like, let's do a community lot because how can I justify in a home, you know, those wheel bump outs and everything? In a little bit, yeah, here I show my boyfriend checked on me and was like, what are you doing with the channel? I was like, I'm going to build a restaurant like I always do. I showed him the restaurants that I uploaded on the gallery, and it was actually a perfect opportunity because I'm playing the Very Veggie Legacy Challenge on my YouTube channel, and my sim lives off a tent. She only eats from a little lunchbox, you know, the base game one where you can eat quick meals from. And sometimes I want some days where she can have like treat yourself moments, you know, where she can have a delicious meal. And I love the idea of her having a good nutritious breakfast. Breakfasts are my favorite meal, so I love the idea of giving her that. But I didn't have any brunch restaurants in my save, so I was like, this quick and easy build is going to be the perfect opportunity for me to do that. I didn't know what to do with the above the door of the restaurant. I didn't know what to put, but I came up with this idea of color for vines, and it definitely set the tone for this build. The color scheme immediately come through with that, with the romantic garden flowers on the top. And as you can see, I went for trendy brunch place, you know, where you can have your $20 avocado toast, you know, that kind of place. I used some mismatched chairs. I love doing that. I love when I go to places that use mismatched chairs. I think it's so fun. Here, the item that I'm placing down on the left outside there, it's a little blanket holder that came with the reward event. I think it's the Christmas reward event that we had in The Sims 4. And it's a little blanket holder because I live in the north of France and it's really cold. It gets really cold here. And sometimes restaurants and cafes that have outside seating will have a basket with blankets that you can use to not get too cold. So talking about that, I also put the light heater from Dine Out. And actually in France, it's illegal now to use heaters like that outside for the environment, obviously. But it's The Sims, so I was like, it's okay. Right now, I am working on the side of the build. I was struggling so much to make sense of this little bump out. This is so representative of shell challenges. You have some bump outs and you have to make something out of it that makes sense. And I was struggling so much. So my idea was to take inspiration from the world, from the neighborhood, and try to copy it. Sometimes in big cities, you have one building, but the same building has different styles in it. So that's what I tried to do here. You don't know which building came first, why are they combined like that. I liked the little quirk that it added to my build. So I added like one modern bit, and you know that it's attached to this like brick kind of build. I don't know if that makes sense what I just said, but talking about brick, I wanted to have more exposed brick, less windows and more exposed brick here on the front. And I wanted to have some beautiful arts that show the color scheme that I mentioned. And I used the love struck tags. And in one of my previous YouTube videos, I was mentioning how love struck was definitely not one of my favorite packs, but I take it back. I take it back because in my second episode of my Very Veggie Legacy Challenge, I used the copies corner feature and I had a lot of fun with the dates. Here, I discovered a lot of arts that I love. I mean, I love color. I love colorful and mismatching, and I feel like the love struck items really enable you to do that. So this build really made me fall in love with the love struck build and buy items. So I was really happy about it. Now we are going into the upstairs, and I'm laughing because if you're wondering, 7 hours is a lot of hours to spend on a build. Yeah, and it's because of the second floor that was a real nightmare to furnish. Again, because of all of the weird bump outs. See, I just bulldozed everything I did because I couldn't make sense out of it. And my technique and something I learned for my future shell challenges, I mean, if I will need some time. A very loud car is passing by. Something I learned from the shell challenges is that when you're struggling, move to another room, like do something else. And I do a lot of that in this build. So for example, I was struggling with the upstairs. I came downstairs and started building like the kitchen and the bathroom and everything. Let's talk about this clown bathroom. I don't know where I was going there, but I wanted to go for a trendy, colorful, like funky bathroom, but it just gave clown energy. So I was like, okay, let's revert. Déborah, we recently had have a bathroom kit that looks marvelous. So please use that instead of the whatever the clown thing you're trying to do. So that's what I did. I love the ties on this pack. It's really like really nice. So I was really happy to be able to use that. I furnished the kitchen with the dinette stuff, obviously, and I really like how it's coming together. Here you see that having a beautiful bathroom definitely inspired me for the inside of the restaurant. You're starting to see the color scheme come to life, and so you know the little bump out that I mentioned earlier, the little house that I was trying to do. I decided to make a feature out of it into my restaurant and build a kind of sunroom out of it, still inspired by trendy Instagrammable places. I'll insert an image of the restaurant that I had in mind. It's an Italian restaurant chain that we have here in France, and it's probably international. I might be wrong about that, but I came across this place through Instagram actually, and I wanted to recreate the same like Instagrammable like area inside my restaurant. And the huge hanging plant that I use is from Jungle Adventure. I searched for hanging plants into like the Build Mall catalog, and I came across this one and I was so happy. And it's so kind of ironic how I created this very fancy sunroom and next to it we have the dumpster. I thought it was very funny. I used also the debug trash inside this little dumpster area. I thought it was kind of realistic and like a reminder that we're not living on Instagram, you know, like reality is made of beauty and ugly as well. So I used those two paintings from Dine Out that I love, absolutely love. I mean, they are breakfast paintings. I draw food. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. So I'm in love with those paintings. I'm in love with using them in those type of builds. So that's what I did. You can see here I'm removing the chimney that I added first because I was like, oh, this bump out is perfect for a chimney. But actually, when I use chimneys, I like to put a lot of sofas, like comfortable chairs in front of them, but since it's tucked into a wall, I wasn't comfortable with it. Even if I wanted to have a cozy, like a reception desk area, it wasn't working here. So I put the stairs here instead. See, I'm putting a couch here. It's not going to stay here, but you know the idea that I was trying to do, like having a waiting area for customers that are waiting for tables. You know, in real life we have that. In The Sims, I don't think Sims sit down to wait for a table. I don't think they do, but I wanted to recreate that vibe. But right now I'm working on the host thing, and I put the coffee machine next to it. Every time, my plan is that every time I'm going to come here, I'm going to pay the $100 to hire a vendor because I love the idea of my sim coming here to brunch, but also seeing some sims coming here just to grab some coffee to go. I love the idea of that. I love how I put the vines, and the menu is kind of huge, but I felt like tiny on this major mall. It didn't look great at all. So talking about things that look great, actually, I love how I stacked the different rugs, and I thought that I was going to spend ages trying to go through the different swatches, trying to find swatches that matched, but because the color scheme that I use is so vast, like we were talking from purple, pink to yellow, like I had so many colors that could work, and it works super well here, so I'm really happy. I also used the Kitchen Clutter prints that I love so much. Like they look so good, the frames. I used it in different areas of the build. You'll see more of them later. Also the string lights, oh my god. I love how at the beginning it was just an empty box, and the more I added some details into it, the more it made sense. And you can see that my building process is kind of random, because see, like I was on the inside, now I'm landscaping. I have no clear process of it all. It's because for me, I like to finish one whole room and be like, okay, this is the vibe. This vibe is going to inspire me for the next room. So for example, the kitchen, and then the bathroom, and then the reception desk area. Like I really work per section, I can say. Oh, I think this section is my favorite part of the build. Please tell me in the comments which one is your favorite. But I think this little room with the plants and the bike parts from businesses and hobbies, the different plants and the lamp. Oh my god, I love this area so much. Like I think at the end you'll see I play tested the build, and I added that to the spill build, and I used Eliza pancakes and pop pancakes to play test this, and I used the first person one when I was in here, and I was like, oh my god, I am dreaming to go to a place like this in real life. I have very few opportunities nowadays to go to fancy coffee places like that when it's literally my hobby. Like my hobby is to go to cute cafes. I don't know. I don't care if not a conventional hobby, but it is a huge hobby of mine. So I was so jealous of my Sims being able to grab some delicious breakfast in this place. I really enjoy it. So here I'm adding the debug trash as I was talking about. I love doing that in community lots. I feel like in real life the streets are never like perfectly clean, you know. So I love adding that all the time to my community lots. It had like some realism to it, and I love realistic Sims 4 gameplay. Um, it's so funny because we're almost at the end of the speed build, and the second floor is absolutely empty. It's to tell you how much like I struggled with it and I was avoiding it. I'm adding details after details after details to the first floor because I was like, if nothing is forcing me to move to the second floor, I'm not doing that. I think even that, like I'm saying that I'm working on the second floor, I think in a few seconds here, I'm going to move to the outside because I was like, what am I supposed to do with those bump outs? I wanted to add some bathrooms, but I felt like it was too much bathroom, like 3 bathrooms for such a tiny build seemed like overdone a bit. So I walked on the roof instead. If you saw my video of me touring the grocery store that I built, you know that I'm terrible at roofing, at building in general. Like I love decorating, as you can see, like I went over the top with the decorating and everything, but the building, it's so difficult. But I like this idea of putting platform roofs, and also the flooring that I use on the top of the roof is the wires, not wires, but you know the things, the lines that looks like kind of a realistic roof, and also the venting and everything. I got the inspiration of doing roofs like that from Simlicy. You probably know her. She does amazing spill beads here on YouTube. When I saw her doing that on her builds, I was like, oh my god, this is just such a genius idea, because flat roofs can look so empty. So I love those little details that bring, once again, a lot of realism to your builds. And now I'm doing terrain paint. I'm being very brave by doing that because I'm not the best at landscaping. Again, building, landscaping, everything that's about the exterior of a build, I am really bad at. So for the landscaping, my tip is to copy what's around. But one thing that was really frustrating for this lot is that, yes, a lot is a square, but it's not symmetrical, you know? It's kind of like diagonal. I don't know, it's placed very weirdly on the world, I feel like. So I struggled with the landscape, but I was like, oh, I don't care, I'm just going to do the bare minimum and copy like the trees and the plant pots and everything, but it should look cohesive from far away. That was my main concern. But the rest, I didn't put too much thought into it because personally, when I play, I really focus on the inside. I'm a first person mod girly. I love seeing my Sims enjoy the things that I love in real life, and so I love the actions. I love seeing them being in the build and enjoying what's in the build. So the exterior is not of my problem. Okay, so now we're finally walking on the second floor, and I think doing the exterior really helped me there because it inspired me about the way to use the bump outs. So for example, I love the cozy table for two here. I imagine a couple, I want some privacy. Like I really like the idea of this. I love the bookshelves on the businesses and hobbies pack, and I actually loved the little couch area that I put here. I think I put the game from Love Struck. I imagine Sims sitting down here and like playing games and everything, but because it's a restaurant lot, Sims are only here to sit at the table and eat. That's all I do. When I play tested the lot, I realized that nobody ever sat down on it. Nobody ever cared about this. And since I needed a kitchen, you'll see again. I'll explain it to you at the end of the speed build. But I needed a second kitchen, and I was like, since you're not using that, let's just replace this beautiful area with a kitchen. And this bump out, I justified it by pretending that it was a utility room. It doesn't even have a real door, as you can see. For me, I used the Love Struck little cabin. I don't know how to call it. I feel like since Sims are going to use woohoo in it, and the utilities that are inside this little room are not actually functional, I didn't think that there was a point of making a real door. If visually it looks like a real door to me, that's fine. I don't need to know more about it. Talking about Love Struck, you see how I used the two paintings, the two colorful paintings. I was like, oh my god, this is perfectly in my build. I loved it. I only ended up using adding one bathroom to the upstairs, and yeah, I think we're pretty much done. Now I'm doing the waiters, the workers outfits. At first I wanted to use the businesses and hobbies one, but there were not kitcheny enough. So I used the Home Chef Hustle pack, and I'm so jealous of the masculine frames outfits. They have a little towel, the little pen, and the feminine frames don't have that, so I'm sad. And this is the host outfit, and I wanted to go for something trendy because North Haven is such the hipster vibe like town, and I felt like in a restaurant like this you have people that are very trendy and look great in those outfits. And this is my favorite part, guys. Being able to create my dream cafe menu is like, I love this. It's like I told you, my favorite hobby. You know, Emma Chamberlain, she opened the first cafe in Los Angeles, and she posted a picture of her with all of the pastries that she was selling in her cafe. And I was like, oh my God, this is my dream cafe menu. Oh my God. So I drew it on my illustration page, and Emma reposted it. I mean, Emma, I don't know, a community manager reposted it on their page. And I was like, oh my God, I'm 28 and this is the coolest thing that have ever happened to me. Like, I was so happy about it. I love cafes. I love everything related to it. So I love this build. And talking about this build, I'm place testing it with Nina Caliente, I believe. And you can see, like, I had added a computer, a laptop on this table because I was like, oh, cafe vibes. But actually, Sims put plates on it, so on top of it. So it was actually pointless. So I had the good Wi-Fi trait. I removed it and put the convivial trait instead. So here I was play testing it. She ordered some matcha and waffles, I believe. Waffles come with the Home Chef Hustle pack, and I love it, but I never use those waffles because you need an appliance, and sometimes often my kitchens don't have enough room for that. Here I was waiting, and look, she was stuck on the table. Like, I was waiting for my waffles, and the person supposed to give me my waffle was stuck, so I had to reload the lot, and thankfully she was not stuck anymore. But I was still waiting for my food for ages and ages and ages. That's when I decided to have a second kitchen, because I was like, oh my God, this is taking way too long. This is taking way too long. And see, guys, when I saw this little croissant and this little cafe on the table, I was like, oh my God. And when I saw Sims using these, like a couple, I'm not sure they're a couple, but when I saw those two Sims using the little cozy corner I mentioned, I was like, oh my God, I love the Sims so much. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I feel kind of crazy because I'm struggling to describe it with words, but I love The Sims so much just for this. Like, you know, when you're a child and you have your little Barbies, when you play Barbies and you have them do the things that you love, it's the same joy that I have. It's healing my inner child. I love The Sims so much. Anyway, so I placed down the second kitchen, and to reload the lot and reset everything, I used a different household. So I used Eliza and Bob, and of course, it wasn't working. So every time I clicked on the table, it said clean instead of offering me the option to request a table. So I was like, okay, it's 4 p.m. in the game, let me play, and tomorrow morning we'll go to the brunch. But actually Bob offered Eliza to go on a date, so I was like, oh, perfect opportunity, let's go on a date into this beautiful brunch place. Even if it's at nighttime, usually brunch places are open in the morning and during the afternoon, but I was like, okay, whatever. I want to be done with this build. I've been working on it for 7 hours, so please let me be done with it. So they went on a date, and yeah, and I saw this little angle, and I was like, oh my God, it looks so good. It's the paintings, the color scheme of this build is like perfect. But I think it's my color scheme. I think I have a summer palette. I think with the decor you see behind me, it's like my favorite colors ever. Here I was trying to put it on the gallery, and I had so many pop-ups while putting things on the gallery. It never happened before. I didn't know why it happened so much, so it made me laugh. Anyway, the speed build is done and I'm still talking, so I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to comment, let me know your opinion about this build, about challenges in general. Did you do this one? Did you succeed? How long did it take you to do it? I'm curious to hear about you. I'm having a lot of fun playing The Sims, as I mentioned during the speed build. It's really healing for me. It's such a fun hobby as a stay-at-home mom. I love doing this, and I love creating this content and sharing my passion with you. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next week. Bye.